As one of the most important natural predators of pests in agricultural ecosystems, the frog today is not only a silent guardian of the fields, but has also risen to become a food ingredient worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But have you ever wondered how billions of frogs are harvested and processed each year? From rice fields and ponds to humid forests, frogs quietly hide beneath soft mud, humble in appearance, yet a vital link in the natural ecosystem. They are then taken to modern processing plants, where their firm white meat is kept fresh and turned into a variety of appealing products, from frozen frog legs to ready-to-eat meals exported worldwide. Today, join Agriculture Insight as we step into the most advanced frog processing facilities and explore the journey of how this small amphibian becomes a culinary ingredient enjoyed across the globe. All will be revealed in this video. China is known as the Kingdom of Frog Fields, producing over 1.6 million tons of frog meat each year, accounting for a staggering 70% of the global supply. From riverside swamps to industrial frog farms, these small creatures not only help control pests and maintain ecological balance, but also provide a livelihood for millions of people. In the animal kingdom, few species can rival the frog's leaps and lightning-fast strikes. A small frog can jump up to 20 times its body length. Imagine a person leaping over an entire bus with a single push. When prey comes into range, the frog's jelly-like tongue snaps out faster than the blink of an eye, coating its target in ultra-sticky mucus and turning it into a prisoner of nature. Here's a fun fact. Kissing a frog won't help you find a prince, but it might land you in the hospital. Some species secrete mild toxins through their skin that can cause numbness or nausea upon contact. So instead of chasing fairy tales, perhaps enjoying a delicious, safely prepared frog dish is the more pleasant option. Thanks to their ability to adapt to various environments, frog farming has become an excellent option for those dreaming of building wealth from the countryside. From rice paddies to vast open fields. The value brought by these so-called swamp princes goes far beyond their small size and slippery skin. To boost productivity and maintain a healthy gene pool, farms have adopted strict and scientific breeding selection processes. Selected breeding frogs must have well-proportioned bodies, no deformities, quick reflexes, and most importantly, meet the standard weight range, typically between 200 to 300 grams per specimen. Male frogs are generally smaller, but more muscular, agile, and resistant to disease, while females are larger with swollen bellies full of eggs, making them ideal for reproduction. Frogs don't mate simply because a male and female are present. Reproduction for these amphibians is a complex ritual, triggered only when environmental conditions are just right, as if someone flips a biological switch. That's why farms must replicate natural habitats, water kept at 26 to 30 degrees Celsius, neutral pH, soft lighting, and absolute silence. Even a single loud noise can stop them from breeding. Some farms even install artificial rain systems to simulate the first rains of the season, a powerful signal that tells frogs it's time to begin their mating ritual. Unlike many other animals, frogs reproduce through external fertilization, meaning the entire process takes place in water. The male quickly climbs onto the female's back and clasps her tightly with his forelimbs, a unique behavior known as amplexus. This position can last from several hours to more than a day, depending on the species and conditions. During this time, the female gently releases eggs in gelatinous strings that float in the water, while the male simultaneously releases sperm to fertilize them. A healthy female can lay between 1,000 and 6,000 eggs in a single breeding season. Within just 3 to 7 days, those transparent egg masses hatch into tadpoles, a tiny beginning to the next stage of the frog's life cycle. At first glance, a tadpole looks like nothing more than a living comma, a tiny soft creature, gliding through the water with a thread-like tail. But behind that simple appearance lies one of the most revolutionary transformations in the vertebrate world. In the first days after hatching, tadpoles don't rush to feed. Instead, they survive on their yolk sac, a built-in emergency reserve of nutrients prepared by nature during the embryonic stage. This allows them to get through the most vulnerable period of their lives. The tadpole stage is a harsh survival trial. A strong current or even a rough touch can damage their paper-thin skin. But as the yolk sac depletes after 2 to 3 days, tadpoles begin an astonishing metamorphosis. They grow hind legs, then front legs. Their mouths widen, and their digestive systems shift from herbivorous algae eaters to carnivorous predators. Their respiratory system transforms too. Gills give way to lungs, preparing them for life on land. Even the heart restructures itself, evolving from 2 chambers to 3. A rare and remarkable biological leap. When the tail is finally absorbed, the once swimming creature is ready to leap ashore, officially becoming a young frog, setting out on a brand new journey with a completely different lifestyle and instincts. Even with fully formed legs and lungs, young frogs remain extremely fragile. They must learn to breathe with their lungs, much like infants, slowly, gradually, while still absorbing oxygen through the thin skin on their bellies. To minimize stress, they are raised in shallow tanks where gentle water flow helps train their reflexes for hunting. Their diet is specially designed, including small worms, live insects, and protein-rich groundfish. Because overcrowding can lead to cannibalism, sorting them by growth rate is essential. Even lighting is carefully controlled. Without sufficient UVB exposure, their skin may lose color or become deformed. Pond water is changed frequently to prevent the frogs from poisoning themselves with waste buildup. Every detail is meticulously managed to prepare them for the next critical phase. Only the strongest individuals are selected to continue growing. Once frogs reach a weight of 200 to 250 grams, they enter the final fattening stage, a critical preparation phase before being sold to market. At this point, not only do they gain significant body mass, but their immune systems are also strengthened to withstand the stress of commercial harvesting. Farmers typically move the frogs to large ponds or concrete tanks with flat bottoms and appropriate depth to maintain stable temperatures and allow better environmental control. Independent water inlet and drainage systems are used, along with mesh roofs to keep out predatory birds. Floating platforms are also provided, so frogs can rest out of the water, reducing stress and lowering the risk of disease. Stocking density is kept at 30 to 50 frogs per square meter to prevent overcrowding and minimize the spread of illness. During this stage, frogs are fed regularly during cooler hours, from early morning to late afternoon, with a varied diet that includes floating and sinking feeds, live insects, and ground fish. Some farms even increase the protein content in the feed to maximize muscle growth and meat quality. After 2 to 3 months of careful management, when the frogs reach 250 to 350 grams, they are ready for harvest, offering high economic value and superior meat quality. The sweet reward of months of meticulous care comes when the frogs reach their ideal weight, ready for the harvesting stage. Typically, harvesting is carried out early in the morning or late in the afternoon, when ambient temperatures are lower, helping reduce frog activity and minimize the risk of injury from excessive jumping. Choosing the right time is not only crucial for maintaining the frog's physical condition, but is also a key factor in ensuring meat quality throughout the entire food value chain. Today, instead of manually catching each frog like in the past, Many farms have adopted modern harvesting methods using soft net systems. Fine nylon mesh strips are installed along the edges of ponds or inside rearing tanks, forming narrow passageways with an opening at the end. Farmers simply lower the water level slightly or create small sound cues, taking advantage of the frog's natural instinct to seek shelter. This prompts them to move on their own into designated trap areas or collection tanks. This method allows for quick, continuous, and large-scale harvesting, while reducing stress on the animals and preventing skin abrasions from physical handling. As a result, meat quality is preserved from the very first stage of harvest, while also optimizing labor efficiency for commercial frog farms. The healthy and robust frogs are transported alive in specialized vehicles to the processing plant, ensuring they remain in excellent condition to preserve their natural flavor and nutritional value to the fullest. Here, under the skilled hands of a well-trained workforce and with the support of a semi-automated production line, the processing plant can handle between 500 and 2,000 frogs per hour. The frogs are placed on a conveyor system, where they are washed with cold water to remove mud and surface bacteria. Next, each frog undergoes deep chilling, either by spreading crushed ice over the body or immersing it in a large ice water tank maintained at a controlled temperature of 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. This step stabilizes muscle structure and preserves the meat's firmness and freshness before moving on to further processing. Once the muscle tissue has been properly chilled, the frogs are transferred to a separate preparation area, equipped with stainless steel tables that meet XIPA hygiene standards. There, an experienced team makes quick, precise cuts to divide each frog into various parts: legs, body, skin, and internal organs, to meet diverse demands for high-end frog products. Immediately after separation, all parts are passed through a closed-loop cold water washing system with a flow rate of 5,000 liters per hour, ensuring the complete removal of blood, fluids, and waste. This stage not only enhances the purity of the product, but also naturally extends its shelf life without the need for preservatives, meeting the strictest quality standards of international markets. Once thoroughly cleaned, the frog meat parts are transferred to the blast freezing area. Here, they are rapidly frozen at temperatures between -35 degrees Celsius and -40 degrees Celsius, allowing water molecules within the cells to crystallize instantly without damaging muscle structure. Next, the frog meat moves to the automated packaging area. Depending on market demand, products can be packed in various formats: whole legs, separated legs, or marinated fillet trays. Vacuum sealing or modified atmosphere packaging (AP) technology is used to prevent oxygen and microorganisms from compromising product quality. In the global snail race, France leads the way with an annual production of thousands of tons, contributing tens of millions of dollars to the economy. Snail meat is tender, slightly chewy, and subtly sweet, often prepared with garlic butter and herbs to become the iconic escargot, a symbol of French haute cuisine. The country's snail farming industry is thriving, with hundreds of professional farms turning this slow-moving creature into a refined element of French culture. But don't let their tiny appearance fool you. Snails are true biological gold mines. Their slime contains collagen, elastin, glycolic acid, and allantoin, valuable compounds that help regenerate skin, reduce scars, and fight aging. Thanks to these properties, snail slime is dubbed liquid gold in the world of biocosmetics, fetching prices as high as $500 to $1,000 per kilogram once refined. And like all extraordinary stories, this one has a beginning. For snails, it starts in specialized farms, where humans create the perfect slimy paradise for this liquid gold to be born from the slowest crawl on Earth. And every fascinating story has its beginning. For snails, it starts at specialized farms, where humans create the perfect slimy paradise for that golden liquid to be born from the slowest crawl on Earth. Nowadays, one of the most popular and efficient methods for snail farming is the semi-natural model, breeding indoors and growing outdoors. This approach allows for better control during the sensitive early stages, while taking advantage of natural conditions to promote faster, healthier growth and maximize cost efficiency. The very first step in the production journey may seem simple, but it is absolutely critical: the careful selection of parent snails. The chosen individuals must be healthy, evenly developed, with strong, intact shells and no deformities, to ensure the quality of the breeding stock right from the start. In nature, snails reproduce most actively at the end of spring, when the air is warm and humidity is high. However, in modern farms, it's possible to regulate temperature, lighting, and humidity to encourage year-round breeding, significantly boosting productivity. And although snails are hermaphrodites, each one possessing both male and female reproductive organs, they still require a partner for cross-fertilization. During mating season, they slowly approach each other, engaging in a courtship ritual of gentle touches and graceful spirals, a silent dance that can last for hours. The climax comes when they exchange sperm through a structure called a love dart, one of the most bizarre mating behaviors in the animal kingdom. After mating, snails lay their eggs in clusters within pre-prepared soil trays. Each snail can lay dozens to hundreds of eggs, typically choosing soft, moist, and secluded spots to ensure safety. The soil in the trays is cleaned, lightly moistened, and placed in quiet, low-light areas to create a secure environment for egg laying. Once the eggs are laid, the mother snail usually covers them with a thin layer of soil as a natural form of protection. However, in industrial farming settings, the farmer will promptly locate and gently collect each clutch of eggs, taking care not to break or disturb their structure, and place them into foam boxes lined with loose, moist soil. Although the eggs do not require maternal care, they are highly sensitive to environmental changes. Therefore, they must be handled with great care and immediately transferred to an incubation room, where temperature and humidity are consistently regulated 24/7. After about 10 to 20 days, the tiny creatures begin to break through their delicate shells and emerge into the world. They are so fragile that their shells remain transparent, and their bodies are soft and weak, as if they had just stepped out of an entirely different realm. Thousands of tiny snails crawl across the surface of the trays, marking the start of a slow yet promising journey toward maturity. If the incubation process is carried out correctly, the hatching rate can reach up to 90%, an ideal figure in modern snail farming. Immediately after hatching, the baby snails are transferred to larger trays, more spacious and well-ventilated environments, fully prepared with a nutritious food supply. This is a crucial step to create optimal conditions for uniform development across the entire brood, laying the groundwork for a healthy generation ready for the next stages of growth. Once they are strong enough, these tiny residents are released into lush vegetable fields, marking the beginning of an entirely new chapter in their development journey. To prepare for this stage, farmers use specialized tractors equipped with sharp plow blades and powerful tilling systems to break up the soil, making it loose, aerated, and moisture retentive. They then evenly sow seeds across the field with vegetables like mustard greens, leafy Chinese cabbage, or navacol, soft, sweet leaf varieties that snails particularly enjoy. After just 10 to 15 days, the fields come alive with a carpet of tender, green sprouts. An automated sprinkler system is activated regularly to keep both the soil and foliage consistently cool and moist. Between the rows of vegetables, large wooden boards are placed, not only to provide natural shade and reduce soil surface temperature, but also to serve as cool shelters for the snails later on. Once all conditions are ready, the nursery trays are gently opened, and the young snails are released onto the beds of tender greens. Fresh air, soft light, and a rich plant ecosystem now become their ideal habitat for continued growth. Each snail begins exploring this new space, slowly crawling over leaves and nibbling bit by bit. A single snail can consume dozens of leaves per day, a steady, energetic process of growth. From around day 80 onward, as the snails begin to reach maturity, their nutritional needs increase. By this time, the vegetable beds are often depleted and no longer sufficient to support optimal development. To maintain their growth rate, farmers begin adding supplemental feed, a blend of bran, cornmeal, minerals, and light nutritional additives, spread evenly between the rows so that all snails have access. By day 100 to 120, the snails have fully matured. They cling to the undersides of the wooden boards, avoiding the sun and resting. These boards have now become more than just shade. They are natural, quiet shelters for tens of thousands of snails, ready for harvest. The entire field transforms into a living biological garden, a perfect conclusion to a closed-loop farming cycle that is both natural and meticulously precise. Once the snails reach full maturity, with hardened shells and fully developed epiphragms, the harvest season officially begins. Across the lush green fields now lined with wooden shelter boards, farmers carefully remove each snail by hand, taking great care not to crack the shell or injure the delicate soft body. They move slowly, bending close to the ground, thoroughly inspecting each crevice and cluster of vegetation to ensure no snail is overlooked. With patient hands and observant eyes, each snail is gently lifted, as if harvesting living gems quietly nurtured by nature over hundreds of days. Immediately after collection, thousands of snails are brought to the cleaning area. Here, the farmers begin washing them, an essential step to remove slime, dirt, and debris from the shells. Under streams of cool water from low-pressure spray nozzles, each snail is gently rinsed, both to clean them and to help them recover from the stress of harvest. After being cleaned, the snails are placed in ventilated mesh trays or baskets to drain and are fasted for about 24 hours to purge waste from their digestive systems, an important step to ensure hygiene and the quality of the final product. Once transported from the farm, the mature snails are sorted according to their intended use. Healthy snails that meet the standard size are sent to meat processing facilities, where a strict industrial procedure is carried out to serve the high-end culinary industry. The first stage is cleaning, a critical and indispensable step. The snails, still in their shells, are placed into a high-pressure water jet washing system that thoroughly removes all dirt, sand, and external impurities, ensuring complete hygiene before moving on to further processing. After being thoroughly cleaned, the snails are placed on a conveyor belt leading to the processing area. On either side of the belt, skilled workers sit facing each other, handling the snails swiftly, yet with great care. Using small knives or specialized tools, they gently separate the tender meat from the shell without tearing or damaging the tissue. Once extracted, the snail meat is placed into separate trays in preparation for the next processing steps. On the conveyor belt, the snail meat is spread evenly to ensure a continuous and efficient workflow. The trays of snail meat are gradually emptied onto the system, allowing the meat to be evenly distributed. At this stage, workers use specialized scissors to remove any unwanted internal organs, keeping only the clean, high-quality meat. This step requires a high level of precision to ensure consistency in both quality and appearance of the final product. Next, the snail meat is rinsed again and undergoes a final screening stage to eliminate any remaining impurities. This step ensures that only pure, high-quality meat remains. After that, the snail meat is packed into small bags, each precisely weighed according to predetermined standard weights. These bags are gently compressed to tightly pack the meat and remove excess air, thereby extending the shelf life. Once compressed, the bags are heat-sealed and properly labeled. All finished bags are neatly arranged in cardboard boxes, ready to be distributed to the market or delivered to restaurants. Carefully processed snail meat is highly valued in the culinary world. In many restaurants, it is served as a premium delicacy, with prices ranging from 30 to 50 euros per serving. Thanks to its tender texture and delicate flavor, snail meat has become a prized culinary gem, beloved by diners around the globe. Meanwhile, the healthy snails are transferred to the mucus extraction area, one of the most delicate and valuable stages in the entire high-end biocosmetic production process. Using a traditional manual method, bags of snails are hung on specialized racks positioned just above gently oscillating metal rods. These rods continuously tap the bags, naturally stimulating the snails to secrete mucus. The milky white slime from thousands of snails slowly drips down into collection trays below, forming a thick, highly valuable liquid. On average, each snail can produce between 0.5 to 1 gram of mucus per cycle. This raw material is crucial and will later be refined for use in premium cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. In addition to the manual method, modern technology has introduced a more advanced extraction process that ensures no harm to the snails. At large-scale facilities, mature snails are placed into specialized machines. Workers spread the snails in a thin, even layer to ensure each one comes into direct contact with the device's surface. Then, the machine is sealed, and the automated extraction system is activated. The machine operates by simulating a natural environment, combining gentle vibrations and controlled air pressure to safely and naturally stimulate the snails to secrete mucus. After about 30 to 60 minutes, the slime begins to flow and is collected through a specialized piping system. The entire process can last from 2 to 3 hours, ensuring that the extracted mucus is of high quality, while the snails remain healthy and are able to continue developing normally. After extraction, the snails enter a deep rest state, similar to a temporary coma, during which they show no immediate response. The collected snail mucus is transferred to large tanks for purification and viscosity homogenization. Workers then pour the mucus into automated filling machines, ensuring that each jar contains an exact amount of product. Sterilized glass jars pass along the filling line and are filled with a smooth, thick cream. Once filled, the jars are immediately sealed to preserve the product's quality. All finished jars are neatly arranged on trays, awaiting a final inspection before being packed into cartons and made ready for delivery to consumers. Unlike many other cosmetic products, snail mucus-based skincare does not require a complex formulation. This is because the natural mucus already contains valuable active ingredients such as collagen, elastin, and glycolic acid. With just light purification and the addition of a few stabilizing agents, a high-quality and effective product can be created. After the extraction process, the snails are transferred to a recovery area where they can rest and regain their strength. Once fully recovered, they are released back into lush green gardens with fresh grass and natural vegetation. Here, the snails continue to grow in a safe and comfortable environment. After about 2 to 3 months, they will be ready for a new extraction cycle, without any long-term impact on their health. In the natural world, only a handful of species possess the ability to regenerate a body part, and deer are one of nature's rare miracles. Each year at the start of spring, a deer's old antlers fall off, and from the base, a new life begins to emerge. That new growth is velvet antler, soft, developing antlers nourished by a dense network of blood vessels, rich in collagen and rare minerals. Surprisingly, harvesting velvet not only causes no harm, but actually brings relief to the deer when the antlers grow too large. This is a sustainable, annual process that reflects a humane way of working with nature. Behind their gentle appearance and innocent eyes, deer can sometimes become unintended troublemakers in modern life. In the US, there are over 1.5 million deer-related vehicle collisions each year, most occurring in the fall, when they dart across highways during mating season. Beyond traffic hazards, deer also sneak into people's backyards, devouring vegetables and tearing up flower beds, leaving scenes of chaos that make homeowners shake their heads in frustration. So what have humans done to turn this unruly creature into a source of highly prized products? It all begins on lush, peaceful farms full of life, where these citizens of the crimson velvet don't merely exist, but enjoy a life truly worthy of their four-legged nobility. Deer farms typically span 5 to 10 hectares, meticulously planned to combine enclosed barns with open grazing areas. This setup allows for attentive care while still preserving the natural rhythms and instincts of these unique animals. Inside the barns are sturdy, well-ventilated stalls with clean flooring, fixed feeding troughs, and even a dedicated mini clinic to monitor the herd's health. But it's the outdoor space that truly feels like home for the deer. In these open areas, they can move freely and bask in sunlight, a vital source of vitamin D that supports metabolism and bone development. Conversely, if confined to closed or cramped spaces for extended periods, deer can experience stress, which negatively affects the overall health and uniformity of the herd. The key factor behind a pair of smooth, symmetrical, and glossy antlers lies in the deer's diet. As herbivores, deer have a particular fondness for fresh, tender grass shoots found on open pastures. But they're not picky eaters. In fact, deer are known for their surprisingly adventurous palate. From sweet watermelon slices to a few M&Ms offered by curious visitors, they'll gladly give almost anything a try and usually polish it off in no time. That's why, to ensure even and healthy antler growth, the deer's diet at farms is carefully calculated, balancing energy, protein, and essential minerals. In addition to fresh grass, they're given a custom nutritional mix made from ground corn, soybeans, rice bran, and vital micronutrients, all finely milled and pelletized for easier digestion and optimal nutrient absorption. At feeding time, the herd leisurely follows a red feed cart as it winds its way through the open fields. The pellets are evenly scattered across the grass, allowing each deer to naturally and orderly access its share. And then, harvest season arrives. When the antlers reach their ideal maturity, typically between 50 and 70 days, they are considered ready for collection. This is when the velvet is at its peak nutritional value. Blood vessels are still highly active, while the bone tissue inside has yet to begin ossifying, maximizing both the biological and medicinal benefits of the product. At larger farms, or in cases where the deer are particularly skittish and unwilling to enter restraint systems, remote tranquilizer darts may be used. Unlike what's seen in action movies, these tools are designed to deliver a mild sedative that simply induces light sleep, allowing the deer to gently lie down without resistance. After being sedated, deer are often blindfolded to reduce stress and minimize environmental stimuli. Even under sedation, they may still react to light or sound, so covering their eyes helps keep them calm and prevents sudden movements. Additionally, the blindfold protects their eyes from dust or accidental contact during handling and transport. This simple measure plays an important role in ensuring the deer's safety and comfort. Before harvesting velvet antlers, farms must carry out thorough inspections. The person in charge uses a specialized measuring tool to determine the length and diameter of the antlers, while also observing their color, sheen, and surface temperature. After that, the deer is given mild anesthesia or local anesthesia to ensure it feels no pain. Technicians wear medical gloves and use specialized instruments to carry out the procedure. A tourniquet or intravenous catheter is placed around the base of the antlers to minimize bleeding during removal. Once the antlers are secured, the velvet is carefully cut using a specialized saw, followed by immediate sterilization and bleeding control. The entire process is conducted with great care and under sterile conditions to ensure the animal's safety and preserve the quality of the harvested velvet. After the velvet is harvested, the deer are taken to a separate pen lined with dry straw to rest and recover. They are closely monitored for several days to ensure their condition stabilizes. This is a high-precision procedure, carefully controlled to minimize pain, so much so that many deer are able to stand and walk again just a few hours later. No longer bearing the proud antlers like a regal crown on their heads, the deer return to their gentle, bewildered appearance, quietly awaiting the start of a new cycle. Soon after, the special journey of the velvet antlers continues at the processing facility, where each young pair is transformed into a valuable medicinal product. Each batch first goes through a preliminary inspection line, where weight, color, shape, and thickness are assessed. Based on these criteria, the antlers are carefully sorted to group samples with similar characteristics. The first step in processing deer velvet involves immersing it in boiling water. The antlers are placed into large vats where the temperature is maintained precisely at 100 degrees Celsius, not a degree more or less, as any fluctuation could alter the internal protein structure. This is one of the most critical stages of the entire process. It helps fix the shape of the velvet, gently cooks the living tissue without denaturing its active compounds, and also serves as a natural sterilization method. Thanks to this treatment, the velvet retains its color, texture, and medicinal properties for the next stages of processing. Once cooked at the appropriate temperature, each pair of deer velvet is carefully removed and moved on to the next stage, drying. Depending on the desired final product, the factory may choose thermal drying in ovens, in a sealed room with fully controlled temperature and humidity, or natural air drying in a well-ventilated space with large windows. During drying, deer velvet can lose up to 60 to 70% of its original weight due to moisture evaporation. This significant reduction is one of the reasons why dried velvet becomes more valuable, reflecting the loss during the production process. When the surface reaches the desired level of dryness, the velvet is subjected to flame singeing using a gas torch. A gentle, precise blue flame passes over the outer layer to remove any remaining fine hairs without burning or damaging the velvet's internal structure. Once thoroughly cleaned, deer velvet enters the slicing stage, the moment when the hidden secrets within each antler are revealed. Who would have thought that beneath the soft fur lies a vivid, circulatory map filled with thousands of tiny, precious capillaries? Depending on the intended use, velvet can be sliced lengthwise to preserve the full tissue structure, which is ideal for products that utilize the whole piece. At the factory, deer velvet is typically cross-cut using specialized machines, producing uniformly thin slices just 1 to 2 millimeters thick. What's remarkable is that no two slices ever look exactly the same. Like fingerprints, each pair of antlers has its own unique biological grain, making the assessment of premium-grade velvet sometimes rely on both visual inspection and expert experience. After being carefully sliced into thin, even pieces, deer velvet undergoes a final drying phase, known as the finishing dry. This step is crucial to ensure absolute dryness in each slice, preventing the growth of bacteria, mold, or other harmful agents during long-term storage. Finally, each slice of velvet is carefully packaged in elegant boxes, sealed, labeled for traceability, and prepared to enter the market, carrying with it the long story behind its journey from the forest to the hands of the consumer. In addition to velvet, the most valuable part of the antlers, venison is also selectively harvested, typically from older deer, those no longer capable of reproduction, or individuals that do not meet physical standards for continued breeding. At the appropriate time, these deer are sent to a biosecure processing facility where premium quality meat is produced. This meat is high in protein, low in fat, and especially rich in natural iron. From there, each subsequent stage is carried out in a professional, step-by-step manner, using specialized machinery combined with the skilled hands of trained technicians. The meat is then vacuum sealed and deep frozen to preserve its fresh flavor and texture throughout the entire transportation process to the end consumer. Donkeys are often seen as second-class horses due to their humble appearance and stubborn nature. However, they are actually intelligent and rational animals. In Africa, there are around 9 million donkeys, nearly 20% of the global population, playing a vital role in people's livelihoods. A fully grown donkey can carry up to 2.5 times its body weight across hilly terrain with remarkable endurance. Beyond being living trucks, donkeys also provide valuable products. Donkey milk, mildly sweet and rich in natural antibodies, is considered a premium product, fetching up to $1,000 per liter. Donkey hides are also used to produce ajiao, a type of gelatin believed to enhance health, which is highly sought after, especially in China. This industry generates hundreds of millions of dollars annually, but also puts significant pressure on the global donkey population. The journey of this resilient animal begins on fertile farms, where young donkeys are nurtured and raised with care every day. Due to their stubborn nature and susceptibility to stress, donkeys require specialized care techniques and more meticulous attention than many other common livestock animals. To ensure healthy development and high productivity, nutrition plays a critical role, accounting for 60 to 70% of farming efficiency. Donkeys prefer fresh grass and soft, nutrient-rich leaves, so providing a clean, green, and sufficient supply of forage is essential. In addition, grains such as corn and oats should be included to supply energy and protein. They are typically fed 2 to 3 times a day, with a well-balanced diet to optimize their health and reproductive performance. Housing must be spacious, well-ventilated, clean, with proper roofing, and dry, well-drained flooring to help prevent disease. Regular hoof trimming plays an important role in donkey care, as it helps maintain correct posture and gait while preventing common hoof problems, such as infections, overgrowth, and lameness. This procedure is typically performed every 3 to 4 months, or more frequently if needed, to ensure the donkey remains comfortable and healthy over the long term. In late spring, as the weather becomes mild and favorable, donkeys enter their most active breeding season of the year. During this time, female donkeys begin to show clear signs of estrus, such as behavioral changes, increased restlessness, and vocalizations to attract males. They frequently approach male donkeys, signaling openness and readiness to mate. Once both parties are receptive, mating begins. Interestingly, the penis of a male donkey can reach a length of 50 to 60 centimeters, longer than that of many other equine species. However, the mating process is relatively brief, typically lasting only 10 to 60 seconds, allowing donkeys to achieve successful fertilization quickly and efficiently, even in challenging natural environments. At some modern farms, artificial insemination is used to enhance reproductive success and control breeding quality. The semen of male donkeys is collected, processed, and cryopreserved under optimal conditions, then introduced into the female reproductive tract using small insemination rods, similar to the technique used in cattle. After successful fertilization, a female donkey undergoes a gestation period lasting between 11 to 14 months, typically giving birth to only 1 foal per pregnancy. With intervals of 1.5 to 2 years between births, this slow reproductive rate is a key factor contributing to the decline in donkey populations under increasing exploitation pressure. Although the birthing process in donkeys is usually quick and without major complications, it is not always entirely smooth. Timely intervention by caretakers plays a crucial role in reducing the risk of complications and improving the survival rate of newborn foals, especially on modern farms where care procedures are professionally managed. Shortly after birth, the newborn foal must learn to stand on its own, one of the very first lessons a mother donkey teaches her baby. Donkey mothers can be surprisingly strict. The foal either learns to stand on its own or is gently nudged with a firm kick to encourage it to get up immediately. This early push helps the young donkey quickly adapt to its surroundings, enhancing its ability to protect itself and increasing its chances of survival during the critical early days. After giving birth, the mother donkey begins producing milk to nourish her foal, typically lasting around 6 to 8 months, depending on care conditions and breed. This period is also when the valuable milk is collected for processing and consumption purposes. At traditional farms, donkey milking is usually done entirely by hand. Farmers gently massage and press the donkey's udder by hand to extract the milk, a process that requires patience and proper technique to avoid injuring the mother and to ensure optimal milk yield. Manual milking is typically carried out 2 to 3 times a day under strict hygiene conditions to prevent contamination and maintain the milk's freshness and purity. Meanwhile, at larger and more modern farms, donkey milk is collected using advanced automated milking systems. These machines are specially designed with soft milking heads to enhance efficiency, minimize stress for the mother donkeys, and maintain high milk quality. The automated milking process is typically integrated with an instant cooling system to preserve the milk's freshness and valuable nutrients before it moves to the processing stage. Thanks to the application of high technology, the milking process becomes faster and more consistent, optimizing productivity while ensuring animal welfare. This, in turn, enhances the commercial value of donkey milk, especially in markets with strict quality requirements. Did you know that donkey milk can not only be used to make cheese, but that it is also one of the rarest and most valuable cheeses in the world? Rich in proteins, vitamins, and minerals, especially lysozyme and lactoferrin, which are natural antibacterial agents, donkey milk cheese offers a purer, more delicate flavor compared to cow or goat cheese. However, because donkey milk contains lower levels of protein and fat, the cheese-making process requires highly specialized and precise techniques to achieve the right texture and taste. A portion of the milk, after being collected, is pasteurized and packaged as fresh milk for direct consumption, either for nutritional or medical purposes. The remaining milk undergoes a strict processing procedure to produce donkey cheese, a premium product that requires delicate techniques and extended aging to achieve its distinctive flavor and texture. At small farms or those using traditional methods, cheese is meticulously handcrafted to preserve its delicate character and natural flavor. After being carefully filtered, the milk is poured into small aging vats, where natural cultures or enzymes are added to trigger coagulation. Once the milk solidifies, the curd is cut manually with knives and gently pressed using clean cloths to remove excess whey. Temperature, humidity, and timing are adjusted based on the cheesemaker's experience and refined intuition, rather than relying solely on machinery. And of course, the value of donkeys goes beyond the milk provided by the gentle females. Donkey meat is also considered a nutritious red meat that is gaining popularity in the market.